Hey, you guys, welcome to Healed and Fulfilled podcast with me, Nettie. Thank you guys for joining. If you are listening on Spotify, thank you. And if you are listening on YouTube, hey, leave a hey in the comment box if you are listening on YouTube. I hope that you guys had a great week. I am happy to be back doing what I love. So, before we get started with the subject today, I want to take a moment to send prayers to Jacob Blake's family. That was the young man who was shot 7 times in the back in Kenosha, Wisconsin. He did survive, but he is paralyzed. And I just want to send my condolences to him and his family and his kids. I hope that he has a speedy recovery and justice is served. I also want to send my condolences to the two victims that was shot at the Kenosha, Wisconsin um, protest. And I hope that justice is served. I see that the mainstream media, as always, is spinning the story and it's coming off like they're trying to make the assailant a victim. But that's just me. And if you have been listening to me for a while from the beginning, you would know that I do not listen to mainstream media because of those exact reasons. I see the things I see on social media strolling is a lot of where I get my information to see what mainstream is saying. It comes in my pathway. Of course, I see headlines, but I do not click on the links and read the whole um article. But I want to send, like I said, my condolences to the families of the three victims who were, victims in all of this. So, with that being said, today I'm going to be discussing soul connection relationships. I felt like talking about this because I feel that as people, we need to understand the seasons that why some people are just in our life for a season, and also why some people come in our lives for those same exact reasons, and how to identify what each person, um, what's the word I'm looking for? What each person's role is in your life. So, with that being said, I'm going to get straight into it and we're going to talk about what a soul connection is. A soul connection is when you meet someone and you feel you have known them before, as if your spirit knew each other in a past life. The first one I'm going to talk about is soul partners, aka soulmates. These are certain people that come in your life that your soul agreed to have in your life in this particular lifetime to learn a lesson. They can be a teacher, a mentor, a romantic partner, a friend. It can even be someone in your family. They are there to help you and guide you. They're there to help you and guide you. I personally I feel that my husband is my soulmate under the circumstances that we met under. I'm going to talk about it a little bit. I try not to get too personal, but I feel that this deems me to get a little personal so you can understand exactly what a soulmate, soul partner is. Like I say, it doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic partner. It could be anyone who comes into your life that feels familiar. So, how I met my husband is, I'm going to start with me as an individual. When I was in 2015, I went through a spiritual awakening. That's when I first ever went through a spiritual awakening. I had went through a divorce, and I was living in the place that we had together, and it was just like he was so bitter, and it was just like he still felt like the place was his. I was working a job that the job was okay, but I was, like I said, going through a spiritual awakening where I didn't feel that I was doing enough in my life, or I just felt like something was missing, and I just needed a change. I quit my job. Yes, I quit my job. And it's so funny how everything came together, is because with my lease, I was supposed to sign my lease to renew my lease 2 months prior to me quitting my job, but they never sent me a notification like they typically did. And I stayed there for about 3 years. And they usually send the notification to resign a lease, or you would have to pay extra for a month to month. I never received it. So that was like my first sign of my spiritual awakening. Follow me, you guys. I know that I can get a little long-winded, but just pay attention to what I'm saying. So I decided to quit my job, and it was just like I didn't feel fulfilled. It was just so much going on in my life, and it was just time for a new chapter. I was 29 years old. It was just time for me to start over. The person that I was with, my ex-husband, I was with him for 10 years, from 19 to 29. And I went through a lot with him, and he was definitely a karmic relationship, but we'll get a little bit into karmic relationships later on. So with the soul partner, if you guys are just tuning in, with the soul partner, like I said, I quit my job, and then I was supposed to sign my lease 2 months prior. Well, I never got the notification like, hey, you have to resign your lease. But when I quit my job, I got a letter on my door saying, hey, resign your lease, or you can give your 20 days, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's right on time. I was just feeling like I was going to have a nervous breakdown, because it was just so much going on. My car had broken down on me. My credit was so bad at the time that I had a 29.99% interest rate. Yes, you guys. Yes. So it was like, okay, I've been paying on this car for how long? And I didn't know anything about looking for a car. I just got a car. And yes, I had bought a car that was more, I was paying more than what it was worth on top of the interest rate, and it had broke down on me. Nonetheless, I was talking to my mom. My mom sensed that I was stressed out. And not to mention, before I go on, I hadn't stayed with my mom since I was 16. But it's 8 of us as kids. I have 7 siblings, and they had pretty much all moved out. We were all grown, and my mom still had the house that we pretty much grew up in. And so my mom was like, well, don't resign your lease. Come home for a little bit. Get a break. You're quitting your job. So just come home. So I'm like, okay. I was kind of hesitant because, like I said, I hadn't lived home since I was 16. But I knew, as far as my ego went, that I needed to move back home, at least for 3 to 6 months. So I quit my job. I moved, and I applied for unemployment. And I just didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I just know that I just had this empty feeling like I needed to do more in my life. And I was recently divorced, and I just needed more, if I'm explaining that. And I just had this feeling in my spirit that something wasn't right. That's when I first went through my spiritual awakening. Fast forward, I moved in with my mom, and I didn't date. I took a hiatus. I didn't date. I didn't do anything. I literally just was like, okay, I'm going to look for a job that I know that I'm going to feel good at, and I want to just start over in a new place and get a new place. I want to be able to take care of my kids. I just need to heal, because when me and my ex-husband separated, I started dating someone, and I just kind of moved pretty fast. But it wasn't that I really moved too fast. It's just that I pretty much had already mentally left my husband before I physically left him and divorced him. So, with that being said, like fast forward back to what I was saying, I moved in with my mom, and like I pretty much went on a hiatus. I was celibate. I didn't go out. I really wasn't trying to do anything. I really was just trying to figure out what was going on with me. So, one day I went to a Trina concert because I love Trina, and I freaking have fun that night. It was me and one of my best friends at the time. We went and we had a blast. So the next day I was kind of hungover, and um I was just she came and got me with like her cousin or whatever, and was like, "Hey, do you want to go out to eat?" Blah blah blah. And I'm like, I really don't. And I really didn't know the cousin like that. Well, I knew her, like I had been around her before, but she just wasn't my type. She was younger than us, and she just wasn't my type of person to be around. But I went anyways because she's like, just come or whatever, da da da. So I'm like, okay, excuse my da da da's. You'll hear that a lot. So, with that being said, I freaking went, and the cousin was like supposed to be meeting some guy that was supposed to be coming here from Texas, and she kept showing his picture. I'm like, he's so ugly, gross. Like, I quit showing me his picture. Like, he was not my type. I just did. It was just like he wasn't it. Anyways, we ended up leaving. She asked if I can come to her house. The cousin did, and was like, come with us to my house to help me find something to wear for this guy who just got here so I can meet him. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I go, I'm like outside with my best friend while her cousin's like upstairs. And long and behold, the guy comes there, and he comes directly to me. Like he thought I was her. So I'm like, no, I'm not here for you. This girl is. So the girl upstairs is. He's like, oh, okay, whatever. So I immediately had a feeling about him. Like it was like it wasn't even an attraction to him. It was like my spirit felt like I knew him. It was weird. I just try to stay away from him because I'm not that type of person that is gonna like high side a female and be like, oh well, I feel something. I'm gonna try to talk to him. Nonetheless, we all go upstairs. We're all talking. I'm kind of ready to go. So I'm like asking my best friend to take me home. And um the guy was like, I want to be your best friend, things like that, trying to ask for my social media. And I'm like telling not my cousin, sorry, my friend, cousin's in the freaking bathroom doing whatever she was doing. And I'm like giving my best friend the eye, like, well, you can't be my best friend. You could be my cousin, my best friend's best friend. Like, and he was like, well, what's your social media? I'm like, okay, you can get my friend's social media. Like, okay, so that's how things were going or whatever. So he just kept kind of like flirting with me. So I'm like, oops, it's time for me to go because I don't get down like that, whatever the case. So my best friend was just saying, talking about the guy and things like that, like how, you know, um, the girl, her cousin didn't like him like that, blah, 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 whatever. Just gossipy things that women talk about. So, anyways, at that point I hadn't went out again or anything. And 2 weeks later, one of my other really close friends for like 10 years was dating a guy, and he was doing a car show at a local place here in where I live. And um I freaking didn't want to go because I just really wasn't in the mode. I was in hermit mode. I really didn't want to deal with anyone. And I really didn't want to be around people because, like I said, I was going through a spiritual awakening, trying to figure myself out. Nonetheless, between my friend asking me to go to this car show, the guy that was at um, my best friend's cousin's house hits me up on social media and was just like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And guys do that all the time. I just ignored him because it was just like, okay, that's that guy. Even though I still have that feeling, I just kind of just brushed it off because, like I said, I didn't know the dynamic of if she was going to talk to him, the cousin, or not. And I didn't want to be that person. So, anyways, I agreed to go to the car show with one of my close friends, and I did. And I ended up seeing a guy that I used to call my brother when I was like 16, and we lived in the same neighborhood. I ended up running into him, and he was like, "Hey, how you doing? We're catching up," things like that. And he's like, "Yeah, my cousin just moved here. He should be here by now. I'm about to go back out there." So I walked back out of the building we were in, out back outside to the car show. And long and behold, guess who it was? The guy from my best friend's cousins. So I'm like, small world. So that kind of gave me like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. Like, this guy knows this guy used to call my brother, and and so that kind of gave him a little, character, because it was like, okay, somebody that I've been knowing for a very long time. This person is upstanding, and you're his family. So, that kind of made me open my eyes up to him a little bit. And so he was not my type. The guy was not my type at all, like on any level. Like, he just came off super thug. He was country, which I like country dudes, but no, he's extremely country. He wasn't poised. He was just like wild. And I'm like, and he was younger. So I'm like, he's really not my type. But we were like talking kind of flirty there. And I liked his personality. Like, I couldn't help to be pulled towards him. Like, I couldn't help it. I tried. And so when it was time to go, he asked for my number. I gave him my number, and I called my best friend, like, "Hey, I gave the dude my number, whatever. I'm going to talk to your cousin and see if it's okay if I talk to him or whatever." The cousin didn't care. She said she didn't like him like that for whatever reasons we're not going to go into. So we started talking from there, and like, it felt like I knew him forever, and my spirit knew him. I mean, I opened up to him so easily. And if you knew me before my spiritual awakening, or I'm going to tell you, if you don't know me, I am not a romantic type. After my divorce, I hated relationships. I mean, guys wanted to commit to me, and I literally would laugh in their face because I'm like, I like the dynamic we have now. Why do we need to mess that up? Like, chill, be easy. And that's just how I was. With him, I was not. I was open. Like, I fell head first. People did not understand. I didn't even understand. People were like, "He's young. He doesn't have nothing going for himself. Why do you want to date him? Why? Why?" And it's just like, I can't explain it. Like, he's the one. Like, I knew that. And I still was like trying to fight him, like, as far as like getting close to him. But it was just like a pull. But that's why I think, and we are still together. We have a child, and we've been married for 2 years. So that he is definitely my soulmate. Like, like everything, we were both going through things at the time. He needed a new start. It needed a new start, and we were both trying to start over. And it's just amazing that we both were going through things, and we started over together, and we're still together 5 years later. Like, it's crazy how that happened. But anyways, that is a soulmate. You know, there's other you do feel that pull with your soulmate, like you don't know why, you're just attracted to them on a deeper level. It may be something that's in the way of you guys. Like what was in the way of us is, okay, he was trying to talk to this my best friend's cousin or whatever, and it was just like, okay, it's always something there. Either you're in a relationship with someone or you are still married. It's always something of, those are just a couple examples of something being in the way of you and your soulmate. Like I said, that you guys made a pact, I would say, or a contract before you were even put here to come back together. Not everybody meets their soulmate, but some of us are fortunate to do so. And it is not like all peaches and cream, like everybody think, oh, you met your soulmate, everything is great. You still have to heal those wounds of your previous life. You still have to complete those. You're gonna have your ups and downs, and you guys are both supposed to be learning from each other. So we're gonna move on from that. I hope that you guys enjoyed my experience. I'm trying to get personal here and connect with you guys. So I hope that that did make sense. Maybe some of you guys can relate to the soulmate. If you can, let me know on Spotify or on YouTube. That's just really how it went. Do not judge me. Yes, I met him through my best friend cousin who he was trying to talk to, but he wasn't meant for her. It was meant for me and him to meet all along. Anyways, okay, we're gonna talk about the next one. It is soul ties. I know that you guys know the soul ties. There's many types of soul ties, but we're going to talk about the physical soul ties through sex. I know a lot of us have been there. You feel addicted to this person, and it's crazy, like how addicted, they're so toxic. Like those sexual soul ties are no joke. I mean, you have to literally pray them off or do some type of ritual, because those are like the worst type of soul ties to me. I mean, there are a few others like emotional soul ties. I will get into that one a little bit too. And there's also there's other ones, but those are the two main ones that I feel like are common. But with sexual soul ties, it's when you have sex with someone and it's kind of like your soul is attached to them. It's like they are like a drug. It can be so toxic and you can't get rid of this person. You start trying to rationalize and make excuses for this person. Is just so horrible. I have had soul ties, but I don't have any example because I don't remember them, and I had to do rituals myself to get rid of them. And I'm not even lying, like I don't even remember the particular person the soul tie was with, but I have had one where it was like an addiction, and no matter what this person did, I couldn't leave them alone. And I really had to pray that person off. And I don't know what broke that soul tie. I did do a ritual, so that could have helped. If you would like to know what ritual I did, I can definitely inbox me on Healed and Fulfilled on Instagram, and I could give you the information and the things that you need to break sexual soul ties. I see a lot of people going through sexual soul ties, and it's just break it, girl, break it, guy. Like, yeah, it's like those demons, man, they're riding you. You're not having sex with the person, you're having sex with the demon. That's why I feel like sexual soul ties is straight demons you're having sex with, and you have to get rid of that, girl. You're guy, you're blocking your blessings. Emotional soul ties to me is trauma bonding, when you only connect with someone. It could be a friend, it could be a family member, it could be a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and you're trauma bonding over things that you guys have went through similarly, and you guys are only connected through those things. Get rid of those type of relationships too. I know that I have. Now I don't even have nothing in common with those people because I don't I'm healed and fulfilled. You get it? But I don't even have I don't even have a connection to them anymore because I don't sit around and trauma bond and talk about my past and how I'm hurt and be bitter and still try to keep relationships with those people that are causing me to trauma bond with a certain person. I just cut off those relationships. Like there's no hard feelings. I just don't live there anymore. And in order for me to grow and manifest the things I want, I have to let those people go. That is a temporary relationship. When it is a physical, sexual soul tie and an emotional soul tie, it's just don't trauma bond. Like, how many of you guys are trauma bonding with a homegirl or a homeboy right now? You guys only relate because of the things you guys have went through and you guys share your war stories. Get rid of those people. That's not cute. That's dry, coon, dry poon energy. Get rid of it. And get rid of those people. Okay, the next one that I'm going to talk about, number 3, is past life soulmates. This is more of an Eastern religion belief and philosophy. I don't follow any just religion. I follow whatever resonates with my spirit. So I'm not Christian. I'm not Catholic. I'm not Buddhist. Buddhism. I don't follow like a particular. I don't put myself in a box. I believe whatever resonates with me. So, as far as like the past lives and reincarnation, I do believe in that because, like I said, we are in a physical body, we are in an avatar. Our spirit lives on and on and on. And if you are spiritual and you have did research, you would understand what I'm saying. My job is not to make you believe anything. I'm just talking to you from my perspective. So, past life soulmates, like I said, is number 3. Some of the signs of a past life soulmate is they just seem familiar to you. Like soon as you meet them, you feel as if you already known them. Like you easily open up to them. They feel like home to you. Like you're so comfortable around them. Um, you subconsciously and you consciously start changing for the better. You start being interested in things that you have never been interested in. You just feel happy. You feel great. I'm not talking about honeymoon stages with your karmic, okay? I'm saying that on a deeper level, you want to be better. You want to be a better human. You want to be out in the world and you want to, help. And it just makes you a better person, period. Not just happy for yourself, not in a selfish way, but in a selfless way. It just makes you want to be better, that person. They just motivate you in a way that you have never been motivated before. It's like that little dark light inside of you, it lights up and everything starts making sense on your purpose. That's what they're there for. You agreed to this before you came here into this physical life. And that person is reminding you of who you are in a past life, believe it or not. Also, another sign of a past life soulmate is a magnetic sensation. What I mean by that is like that pull I was talking about with your soulmate. It's the same with your past life soulmate. It's like a magnetic pull. They're like the same. They're similar in a lot of ways. The only difference is that with the soulmate, it could be anyone. With your past life soulmate, is like romantic, but it's like a pull. They may not be your type. They may not anything that you would typically talk to previously. With this person, you're just drawn to them sexually. You're drawn to them in every way you can think of. Even if you're trying to rationalize it, you can't help it. This person is drawn to you. You'll start having synchronicities of things that remind you of this person, or you'll start seeing 1111, 222, 333, 444, 555, and so on. You'll start seeing all these synchronicities of things. That's because that person is from your past life. They're awakening you. Um, Also, those past life soulmates are there to help you with your unresolved issues and past karmic issues, and to help you resolve them. They are issues that in your past life you didn't complete, but they're here now to help you complete them. Some people, like I said, are lucky enough to find those past life soulmates. I feel like my husband is definitely my past life soulmate, because they're intertwined with the soulmate in general. He definitely reminded me of someone, like not him as his features, which you can notice if you're really, your third eye is really just potent and mature. You can notice features that remind you of something that you can't put your finger on. But that's not the case with my husband. With my husband, his spirit was what I recognized of someone that I knew. And I couldn't put my finger. It's like I knew him before, but I don't know where. And I still feel that way about him. Also, um, another sign of a past life soulmate is powerful sexual energy. Like you you're just sexually attracted to them. Like